And I hit at least 5 stores today, Laura. Luckily, the crowds were not nearly as bad this morning as they are now. Now, everybody's got a cart and we're all fighting for space in the aisle. And you know, at 6:15 on Thanksgiving Eve, last-minute shopping is in full swing. Yeah, she's not even in the double digits yet, but don't let that age fool you. She knows what she's doing with the golf club, and this girl has a message as powerful as her swing. The good news, all of the schools in our local counties got pretty good grades. Out of the most recent inspection reports, the lowest grade was a 93, and that's an A. But we wanted to see it in action, so I took a tour of Paul Knox Middle School in North Augusta to show you what it takes to make the food grade. I thought I'd check in from the Coastal Bureau on this Friday afternoon, and if it sounds at all like I'm a little out of breath, it's because I am. I literally just ran from that stage over there where I'm emceeing to be here to give you an update and kind of a sneak peek into this event this Friday night. The bus tore through this grass right here, rolling off the road and down this embankment, eventually landing down here on its side where you see those tracks in the red Georgia clay. All of this happening with 18 students on board. In January, the Harris family found their father's vault like this, floating up out of the ground in a puddle of water where the grave was supposed to be. The funeral home got crews to dig the hole deeper and even put a concrete slab on top to keep it from happening again. But the Harris family was still worried something wasn't right. And today they say they confirmed their fears. You know, I guess I think about it, but I don't think too hard about it. And I certainly don't want to think about feces when I'm trying to pick out my lipstick color.
Right, exactly. You know, how many times have I heard that today?
Then he was back out the door, down these steps, and they loaded him into a van right here at the curb of this street to take him back to a jail in Atlanta where he's staying. Actually, he started talking about this only minutes ago, so what we're learning is in real time. In fact, I didn't even have time to put stuff in the prompter, so I'm going to read off these sheets right here and tell you everything I know. But basically, Governor Deal made the announcement that a large cyber security facility, a cyber training facility, would be built on the old Golf and Gardens property. Right, and they hope to have that open a little bit sooner. But fire crews tell me the most of the damage is from water and ventilation. This surveillance video, again, that we got from a business nearby was taken just down the street. It shows this man running away from the bar and grill. You can see a mask covering his face, and it looks like he's holding some sort of container down by his side. If you do go outside for any reason today, you're going to want to bundle up whether there's snow or not. But check it out. Behind me, I'm right outside the EOC, and they've got everything you need. They've even got a dive team trailer. They've got these ambulances right here, and then they've got this American Red Cross trailer. And if you look just past that in that brick building, that is their EMS for the EOC. It's ready and on standby to activate if they need it, if this rain were to turn into snow or even ice. The first video shows the teens riding around at night, someone sticking their hand out the side of a car window, shooting a handgun, making a vague threat at a school shooting. But when a second video surfaced showing spots on the Lakeside campus, deputies took it seriously.
And the next thing you know, Arnold Palmer walked in and sat right next to me.
And aren't those stories incredible? They're
Love that.
so fun to listen to, and those stories could have gone on all day long. But besides how good of a golfer he was, almost everyone I talked to today who had met him talked about what a good person he was, too.
I love the way that he was comfortable with royalty, with presidents, and with kids at the golf course at the same time.
Exactly. Wall actually told me a story about one of those times where he was sitting on the bench with him. He made the CEO of General Motors wait just so he could talk to that kid. That's just the kind of guy Arnie was. The front of 1102 is right at the top of this block, but this is where the most extensive damage is. This is the entranceway to the back part of the bar, and they've boarded up this doorway here. And if you look right above the wood panels peeking out underneath it, you can see the singed and charred part, even blistered part of the building, and it runs all the way up to the roof there. Fire officials confirm this is a case of suspected arson, and they believe cameras may have caught the person who set this fire. So here's what they're doing, and this kind of shows you right here's where the leak happened, and they're building this segment of pipe around the leak area to try and bypass it. And the Colonial's latest update says they finished building that bypass segment. They're testing it now and say if the tests look good, the gas should start flowing through it tomorrow. Now, they have no bread and milk here, but they do have showers and pretty much everything you would need to track bad weather rolling through. Rows of phones seat for every important person in the county, and big wide screens with all this data. Take a look at this board over here. It says, "My wish for Augusta is," and people have been coming up to it all day long and putting their answers on sticky notes and sticking it to this board. So there are some funny answers, like this one right here says, stop smelling so bad. But then there's some really insightful answers as well. Hey, Monique, luckily Augusta was spared from the worst of it, but places like Albany, Georgia and Barnwell County in South Carolina were right in the path of this storm. A drone actually captured a crazy sight after a tornado hit northwest Denmark on Saturday. Now, we seem to have lost some of our video capabilities, but I have tweeted all of these pictures out on my Twitter, which is at Christie WRDW, if you want to follow along with me. For a kid with no criminal history, something just snapped. Now the solicitor details a day where an argument over an alarm clock may have led to murder. Like the face of the dam seen here, all of this, virtually nothing has changed. Everything around it, though, is all virtual. Like this city up here in the movie, that's Capital City. But in real life, that's Lincoln and McCormick counties, which is pretty much all lake and woods. Who would have known? And it's not just in this movie that came out today, it's in the prior movies, Catching Fire and Mockingjay Part 1.
So
How did we not know this?
There
it is. Crusher says he believes they lost because he wasn't at home sitting in his lucky chair.
What?
He's very superstitious.
Yeah.
But it was obviously so worth it to be there and see it all in person.
So many people came together to make that happen. We want to thank a lot of you who donated to make that happen. A lot of people did give money out of their own pockets.
People who wouldn't take no for an answer. So we're getting a lot of answers today, but still a lot of questions that need to be answered. Thank you for that, Logan.
Yeah.
And Richard, still very interesting that car was found here in Aiken County when, if they're saying they could have been dead for a couple of days, that would have been plenty of time to drive much farther away. They didn't win a shopping spree, but the woman is going home with some new bling. David proposed to his girlfriend Brandy today with the help from the big man himself. Whether you're the early shopper or whether you prefer maybe shopping from home in your PJs, someone has to do the dirty work on Black Friday.
What a way to go. If you're going to have to get around the mall, you might as well just hop on board one of those.
Might as well. You know, the one thing I noticed, everybody is very happy for being around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Giddy might be a better way to put it.
Giddy, yeah. They must have had at least several cups of coffee. Or maybe like those girls said, all it takes is some Red Bull, Waffle House, and some Christmas music. I guess that's the magical combination.
Absolutely.
That means 15 counties in our area do not. Now, the white areas in Lincoln, Columbia, and Richmond County means there is adequate care. But all of these dark green areas are the counties surrounding us that have no OB services at all. And since this map was created, Burke County has closed, Washington County has closed, and soon in June, Emmanuel counties will too. Well, you actually can't open the bottled beer until November 21st, so maybe just in time for Thanksgiving, guys.
Christy, I know you're on the clock, but that guy just snuck a sample right there behind you.
I'm a lucky girl today, aren't I? Yeah.
You
no,
have any
I
idea how
actually
it
got a
tastes?
sample just a little. I do. I got a sample just a little bit ago. It's very light. It's very fruity. A persimmon is a citrusy fruit. It's really good. You know, they didn't think this would be a bestseller, but if you like golden wheat beer, then you're probably going to like this one. Now, when I was watching Governor Deal as he live streamed his State of the State address, I also noticed a couple people from Augusta that were there at the Capitol with him. You could see Major General John B. Morrison Jr. and Command Sergeant Major Carlos Simmons, both of the Army Cyber Center of Excellence. Also, you can picture right there in the middle is Augusta University President Brooks Keel. They both stood and applauded when Governor Deal pointed them out there in his State of the State address. This is the house where deputies say a custody battle turned into a hostage situation. The sheriff believes Stephen Hudson was on meth when he barricaded inside with his 2 young kids. And I spy NBC 26 on one of the big screens here at the Columbia County EOC, but on the one right next to it, they've got a live look at roads out in Columbia County. Right now, they're wet, and they're probably only going to get wetter, but this is just one of the tools they've got here to track all the bad weather coming through. After a long back and forth in court today, a lot of this happening behind closed doors, the judge came out after about an hour and a half and said this case has been resolved. But I want to bring in one of the victims' attorneys right here. This is Harry Revel. He's been representing the victims in this case. Harry, tell me how you're feeling. It's exciting that it's more than just an idea now. There are actually potential dates and deadlines, and
some reality coming.
Seeing this city grow before our eyes.
I like what he said. We're not just hopping, we're hopping and popping. That's what we're doing right now.
Now that's a good adjective.
That's pretty good.
If you do forget something, Kroger will be open all day Thanksgiving Day, so you can come here and pick up anything that you may need or that you may have forgotten. And here's a little shopping tip. If you come across the river and shop on the South Carolina side, you don't have to pay any sales tax. Just one of the tips of being a border state. In North Augusta, Christie Ethridge on your side.